Welcome back to Moving to Hampton Roads. Today's video is all about Colonial Heritage, the premier 55 plus community in Williamsburg, Virginia. If you are over 55 and thinking about a move to Williamsburg, then this neighborhood absolutely has to be on your radar. All right, stick around, we'll get right to it. My name is David Tortellini, and I help people just like you buy and sell property in Williamsburg, Virginia, and throughout all of Hampton Roads. If this is your first time to the channel, click that subscribe button so you can get notified about our future videos. And then when you're ready, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. Love to help you out when you're ready to make a move. So here's how today's video is going to work. We're actually going to start over on the computer so I can show you on a map where Colonial Heritage is, and then I can show you what's around it too, so you can kind of see all of Williamsburg, then where Colonial Heritage sits in relationship to Colonial Williamsburg and Jamestown and some of the areas you may be familiar with. And I can show you what's around it, like shopping, grocery stores, hospitals, things like that. And then once we're done there, then we'll get in the car and we'll drive through the community together, and I'll tell you everything I know about it. And then at some points, we'll probably just play some music and drive, because it is a very large community of over 1,800 homes. And so there's probably a lot more to see than there is necessarily to talk about. So I really want you to see as much of this community as possible so you can get a really great feel for whether or not it might be a good fit for you. All right, let's jump over to the computer. Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. You know, if you're not overly familiar with where Williamsburg is, it's down here in the southern corner of Virginia, kind of on the northern end of what we call Hampton Roads. So you have Williamsburg right here on the Virginia Peninsula, and then this whole region here is really called Hampton Roads. So it goes down to Virginia Beach and Norfolk, Chesapeake. And then, you know, you're going to come up here where you have Newport News and Hampton and York County here. And then we have Williamsburg. And that's going to put you about 45 minutes east of Richmond, so southeast of Richmond. And if we scroll in and we look for Colonial Heritage, that's going to be on the northern end of Williamsburg, kind of an area called Lightfoot. And that's going to be right here. So all of this is Colonial Heritage. You know, it actually looks a lot better when I put it on the satellite view. So let's switch over to that real quick. There you go. Now you can really see it. So really you see that you come in through here. This is your main entrance, and you immediately have, you know, the clubhouse and everything, and you start to have housing here. And then you see the golf course kind of works its way in through the community like most golf course communities do. And it kind of follows through here and then keeps on going. So this is a big neighborhood. And then they're continuing construction back here. So this screenshot is probably, or at least the satellite image is probably a couple of years old, I would say. So we come on in and you can see what's going on here. I'm going to zoom in really fast. So one of the things that's important to know about Colonial Heritage is that it is a gated community. Now, when we start the drive, I couldn't start my camera until I got through the gate. But as you come through, you'll see there's a really nice gatehouse right here. And this car is going through the owner's side. So you just have like a little key fob to get through on the owner's side. But then everyone else, kind of the guest side, has to come through here where there is 24-hour security. So it's really great. They go, they check to make sure you're supposed to be there, that you are either a guest or playing golf there. It's not, you know, the hardest neighborhood to get into, but I do think it has a level of security there that ensures that the people that are going in are, for the most part, the ones who are supposed to be going in and out of the community. So it's really nice. So this is the primary entrance. And when you come on in, you go through, and right when we start the driving portion of the video, we're going to start off with a nice shot of this pond here with the gazebo. I mean, it's in the fountains. And if you catch these fountains at the right angle, they just produce rainbows. So it's just really pretty. You can sit there and it's just permanent rainbow. And then after that, we are going to immediately take this right here so that you can see the clubhouse. And this is really where like the indoor pool is, and the workout center and things like that. And so I'll show you all of this, and then we'll start driving through. and taking a look at some of the housing back here, and then we'll work our way throughout the community. So that's what we're going to do here in a minute. But let me show you kind of some of the things that are going on in the area. And I'm going to switch back to the other view just because that's a little bit easier to see some of the other things. So I'm going to go back here. So you may be familiar with the Williamsburg pottery. This was at one time a very famous kind of shopping center, and where there was custom made pottery, and I mean it attracted tens of thousands of tourists a year. But lately, it really has kind of gone by the wayside. It's really not very highly trafficked anymore. So you really don't get a lot of people coming in and out of here. In fact, the other day when I was here, I noticed the Oban pan that was in here has now closed, and then they had cones kind of blocking off about half of it. So I'm not sure exactly what is going on there, but I do think that that's not really a highly trafficked area. So I really wouldn't worry too much about, being bogged down in traffic in this area. This really is a very nice free flowing road, Richmond Road here. So as you come down, you are going to immediately start to when you get onto Richmond Road, you are going to immediately start to see some small shops and restaurants. But most important down in this area is this little plaza right here. And really, you're going to have a couple of things here. One, Harris Teeter plus the pharmacy. So Harris Teeter is a grocery chain. And it is a very nice grocery store. So I honestly do my grocery shopping here when I'm in the area, even if I don't need groceries. It's a great experience. It's a really nice grocery store and has the pharmacy in there as well. So I know that's going to be really important to a lot of people looking in Colonial Heritage. There's also a very nice Panera Bread. So as you exit the community, if you're looking to go grab some food with a friend, that's a really great place to go. And then we'll back out, and you can see you get more and more restaurants popping up. But let's also take a look at the other very important item here. We have the Centera Hospital here. So hospital here, entrance to the community is just right there. So it's very, very close by, in case anything were to happen, or if you just need to go see your doctor on a regular basis. There is a hospital just a couple minutes down the road. So very good location in terms of medical services. You also see some other popular kind of tourist destinations like Great Wolf Lodge, very popular, especially for families, because they're indoor water parks and things like that there. And you get the bigger things like your Walmarts and your Lowe's and Home Depots in this area as well. So really, it's a really fun, easy place to live, because there are a lot of the things that just day-to-day kind of almost suburban type living that you would want are really right here without having to deal with too much traffic. Because Williamsburg in this area, it is it's a lot less populated, especially kind of once you get into Norwich and Toano. So you just don't get a ton of traffic in the area. So it's really nice. So you won't have to be bogged down with a bunch of cars or have to worry about really being in a lot of really, really high traffic areas. And I want to go down Richmond Road a little bit, show you some more nice kind of restaurants here, like Captain George Seafood. Oceans and Ale is a very fun place, much more of a after hours business kind of place. But the Williamsburg Outlets, if you like to shop, Williamsburg Outlets, 120 plus stores, I believe. And, that really just has everything that you can imagine, and it has another grocery store in it, but then also has your Starbucks. So if you're a coffee person, you want to go out and grab a Starbucks, that's your closest one. But it's going to have a ton of stores. You can see some of them here, Pandora and Coach and, Under Armour if you need, and Nike if you need some nice activewear. And you want to get out, and especially if you're a golfer, you can have a lot of options there to get some nice clothes at very, very good prices. I was just there the other day and picked up a couple of things. So really nice place to go shopping, and like places like Food for Thought. So really this restaurant, Richmond Road right here, is filled with a whole bunch of restaurants. So if you have family coming to visit you in the area, you can really just exit Colonial Heritage, take a right, and then you just have your choice of 20 or 30 restaurants. Really great place to be. And that road will take you straight into Colonial Williamsburg. So if you want to see the Governor's Palace and the Capitol building and just be in Merchant Square for the shopping and walk around the whole, historic area, look at all the old houses and be around the public and the people. I know that's something that we do a lot. So we're there on a regular basis. And every second Sunday of every month, except for January and February, there's an outdoor market in Colonial Williamsburg. And so we try and go to that almost every month. It's just a lot of fun, tons of local vendors, probably a few hundred, I would say. It's a really big event. And then, of course, you also have William and Mary campus here. So even if you just want to get around and, walk through the campus, it's right here. Or maybe you're moving to the area because you have, a child who's in university there, or a grandchild. So William and Mary, right down the street. It really is about a 15-minute drive, because you're just going to come right out here and then just shoot straight down and right through campus and into Colonial Williamsburg. Some of the other historic sites, Jamestown Settlement is down here, and then historic Yorktown is down here. So you have the battlefields and beaches and fun things there too. And you have the Colonial National Historic Parkway. So the Colonial Parkway, very scenic, beautiful road that runs through Williamsburg. So, and then I do think that just a couple other real quick things to show you. If you are still very active and you like to get out and do things like get out in the woods and go hike, straight over here, Freedom Park. This is a very fun park, has a small botanical garden that I think's, I'd have to guess it's about an acre or two, a couple of acres, botanical garden. And then, you can do the zip line if you want, but there's also about 20 miles of trails back in here. A lot of them are designated for mountain bikes, but I know my mother and father-in-law have off-road e-bikes. And so they still like to get out in the woods and go for a bike ride on real trails too. So on their e-bikes. So that's really fun. And then of course, there are walking trails there too. So if you do want to get into the woods and away from, just a fully exposed golf course type walking trail system that they have at Colonial Heritage, you can do that at Freedom Park. And then you could also come down to Waller Mill Park, which is a beautiful park along the reservoir here. Where you can launch a small boat. You could even, and then there's a bunch of hiking and overlooks. So that's a really fun place to go too. If you're just looking to kind of get away and you like to kind of get into the woods a little bit. So yeah, I think that's a good overview of Colonial Heritage. Let me switch back to this real quick. So there we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by coming in the front gate here. And before we finish up, I do want to point out there is another owner's gate here. So off of Centerville Road, you can come in this way. It doesn't have security here, but it is strictly just for the residents. So you're not allowed to, so realtors and construction workers and people like that aren't allowed to come in through that way. Everybody else has to come in through the main gate. All right. So what we'll do, again, we're going to start just on the other side of the gate here. We'll take a quick look at the pond. You'll see the clubhouse in the background, and then we're going to start by just driving straight down here, and then we'll talk a lot about everything we see as we go, and we'll talk about the community and hopefully give you a good feel. There is a lot of video, so we'll probably talk for a while and then turn it over to some music and just drive through the community so you can get as much information on it and you can see as much of the community as possible. All right, let's get into the car. And as we enter the community, you're greeted by this beautiful pond with fountains and gazebo. It really is a lovely way to enter the community. And just past that, we have the clubhouse. So this is really the gem of the community. It is 25,000 square feet. They use it for all sorts of events, weddings, you name it. And then next to that is the athletic club. And that's where you'll have the pro shop, the indoor pool, the fitness center is in there. And then the outdoor pool is behind that. And then just down the street from there, you're going to find the tennis and pickleball courts. So really beautiful tennis and pickleball courts. All right, let's head back over to the clubhouse. So this is a nice up close of that. Actually, it took me a little while to get that shot because it's so busy, and then I couldn't get downstairs because all the rooms were already being used. So this was really exciting to see. And then the back, of course, is gorgeous. You can sit out there after a round of golf and have a glass of wine or a beer and just enjoy your afternoon in this beautiful setting. So this is Athletic Club here. Pro Shop is right through that door, and give you a good shot of it here. So really is a great building, nice little pro shop. It's nothing too crazy, but it's got all the mainstays that you need to get in a good round, go pick up a few things, and nice people there. And then, of course, we have the indoor pool. I was able to get that shot right before two people jumped in, and the outdoor pool. And I love this, that you can walk right into it without any stairs. So I thought that was a really nice feature. And normally there are a bunch of chairs there that you can lounge on, and these beautiful tennis courts. So they are extremely well maintained. I mean, some of the best I've ever seen, in wonderful condition, and even have a bocce ball court right next to it too. So a lot of fun. And so what I wanted to do was really just get right into the neighborhoods, and there is a neighborhood just past the pro shop. And so actually this that we're passing here is the New Home Sales Center. So if we ever wanted to meet to look at new construction, we would go there, but really just wanted to get right into the neighborhood. This one is a little unique in that it's so close to those amenities. So I think if anyone is really focusing on kind of really wanting to be right next to the clubhouse, right next to the pool, then they may want to look at a home that comes up for sale in this neighborhood. So they're not building anymore in this particular location, but homes do come up for sale throughout the community fairly regularly at this point. So we are looking at a neighborhood where you could actually walk out of here and walk straight to the pool. And if that's really important to you, or then that is going to be, maybe an area in the community you want to look at, because it is big enough that the homes in the back of the community do take probably a solid 5 or 6 minute drive to get to the front. I know that's not very long, but different people have different priorities, and so this is going to be your best bet to be as close as possible to the amenities. So let's just talk a little bit about the housing. So this community was built starting in 2004. And this video is being filmed in January of 2023. So we're at the point where homes are starting to get to be about 19 years old, and soon they'll be 20. And the only consideration there you need to keep in mind is that once you have homes that are about 20 years old, you really need to be taking a look at those roofs, taking a look at those systems, air conditioning units, things like that, to make sure that they are all in good shape, because as a home kind of hits that 20-year mark, you do start to see a little wear and tear on those items. So I think as we go through the community, you're going to see a lot of different layouts. And that's really one of the great features of this neighborhood, is that it's not all just the exact same house over and over and over again. There are, at this point, I believe 38 different models that you could choose from. So including what they're currently building and what's already been built. I mentioned that this neighborhood is going to be over 1,800 homes. There are currently between about 1,500 and 1,600 that are done, and so probably within the next year or two, they'll finish out the remainder in the community. They have been building consistently since 2004, so you are going to see homes of all different age ranges. Now, one of the things I really like is that considering they are newer, even some of the quote unquote older homes, they still have a very modern layouts, very modern feel to them. And I think that regardless of what kind of design you go with, you're going to find something that really works for you. And as we pass these, I should point out, around 20% of the neighborhood or so are attached properties. So most of them are, at this point, are duplexes, like the ones we just passed. So these ones here too. So you're looking at some situations where you're going to have a couple of homes together, and now that they're finishing out the community, they're actually even building some townhouses. So you're going to see a few more of those too. I think they're just trying to maximize the last little bit of land they have to put up those townhouses and finish out the community. So you're going to have that option of 80% are going to be single family homes, 20% will be attached. So it just depends on what you're kind of looking for. And you're going to see a pretty big size range. So you can be in a home in this neighborhood around 1,350 square feet, or there are some that are well over 4,000 square feet. So really anything in between, while the majority are really probably between about 1,600 and 2,500 square feet. So I'd say that'd be pretty typical for the community. But as you can see, they all have nice garages. And of course, they're all, a lot of them are in these like scenic positions along the golf course. So really a lot of beautiful views that you can have out your backyard if that's what you're looking for. So a couple other things to make note of. Around a quarter of the houses in the community have basements. So not something that we actually have a whole lot of in this region. So the opportunity to get that basement, I believe some people have finished theirs off, and that's why they have the really high square footage. But you can do anything you want with that basement. Use it for storage, build yourself an office, whatever you can think of. Maybe just need a playroom for when the grandkids come to visit. These are the options that you have here in this community. So if you're looking for that basement, that's really important. I want to just mention right now, so I tried to get this view that you're looking at right now because I wanted you to just kind of see how open this community is. When you're driving through here, it's not cramped. There aren't houses 10 feet off the main road. Everything is kind of set back away from this main road that carries you through the community. And it really is a nice, easy drive, not a lot of traffic. There aren't a lot of people coming through the community. So it's really an easy place to get around. And while you're driving, it's a nice open feel. You don't feel cramped. You don't feel like other cars are on top of you. And you also, when you're living here, you don't feel like you're on a main road. Some of these homes that we're about to pass are the closest you can get to that main road. So I really just wanted to show you that straight on shot so you could really see kind of what it looks like when you're actually driving through the community. Because like this shot right here, we're out my side window, and that's not what you're going to see if you actually are driving down the road there. But I think actually the great thing about that, you can see that fence in the backyard. One of the things I like about this neighborhood is that you have the option of getting a house that has basically no yard that you maintain, or you have the option of getting a home that does have a nice little yard. And so that's really great for our dog owners in the community, of which there are many, or anyone who wants to have a small garden in their backyard. I know that gardening is a passion of mine, so I would love to have a small garden in a community like this. Of course, there are going to be some restrictions on what you can do with a garden. You can't go crazy, but you can have a nice little garden and really enjoy your yard. So it just depends on where you are in your life. If you don't want any yard at all, then that's definitely here. You can be right up on the golf course or back up to a hill. But if you are still in a position where you want some of your own outdoor space, then there are homes with yards, so you can target one of those as well. I think one of the things that people really like about these homes and the layouts are that they're 9-foot ceilings throughout. So you're going to get nice high ceilings. So you don't feel cramped. Whereas a lot of the older homes in the Williamsburg area may have the shorter ceilings. And then you're going to get, of course, the first floor master. And I think that's the primary reason why a lot of people want to look at a community like this, is because of these, you're going to have 1,800 homes, all with first floor master bedrooms. And the larger homes, a lot of them have a second story. So there are some pure ranch style, but like the house we're just passing now, definitely a second story on these homes where you may have 1 or 2 bedrooms downstairs and then a couple more upstairs, or maybe you just have a loft space that you can use. So it just depends on where you are with stairs in your life. I think one of the things about moving into one of these communities is that you can buy a home that works for you now, and if you love living here, you can always sell your home and stay in the community, which a lot of people do, as you get to the point where you say, okay, well, I don't mind stairs for once a day, versus I just don't want to do stairs ever again. So there are those opportunities for long-term residents of this community. So really just overall, really nice, beautiful houses. They're all going to be, new to fairly new. And even as they finish out the community, there are going to be different options if you wanted to build your own home. And then, of course, some yards, some basement, some are on the water, some are on the golf course. Really just going to be up to whatever you really need in your life at this point. So let's talk a little bit about the clubhouse and the various activities in the community. So the HOA fee here is $290 a month. And to be honest, I think that's extremely reasonable. I sell condos and townhomes in some other neighborhoods where the condo dues are $350, $450, and you don't get nearly what you get out of this community. So of course you see miles of walking paths as we've been through, but there are a ton of clubs. And I think that's one of the things I liked about when I went into the clubhouse. I was hoping to get video, but there was too much activity going on because people were already getting into their socializing. Like just even in the lobby, there were a bunch of different, groups of people sitting together to talk, to go over life and catch up and start their community activities. So, let me read you off just a few, and I'll put a full list in the description so you can see everything that's offered. But, here's the recent list. Here are a few. So things like aerobics and aquatics, bicycle club and book club. There's a cribbage club and a garden club, an investment club. That sounds actually something right up my alley. I definitely want to be in that one. A mahjong club, that sounds really fun. There are musical groups, photography club, pickleball, poker, walking, woodworking, and even yoga and Zumba. So that's just a few of the many clubs that are here in this community. I think that's the biggest advantage of this being a really big community. So some of the other HOAs that we go to where, maybe there are a couple of hundred houses, or, you're just not going to have enough people to find the quantity that you need to participate in so many things. But here, this community draws people who are really active, who want to be socializing and really want to take that $290 and stretch it out as much as possible. So that pool gets used a lot. The lap pool gets used. I think I mentioned that when I went in there, I managed to get that quick shot right before a couple was about to get in. They let me get a quick video, so that was nice of them. So you really do kind of get everything that you could want here in this community in terms of activity levels. And that's not even including, like I mentioned when we were on the map, that there are other things like parks and shopping in the area. So you're not going to just be out in the middle of nowhere without an ability to really leave the community and do other things as well. So really fun clubs at the community. And then let's talk a little bit about golf. So I'm sure golf is very important to a lot of people who are looking at this community. It is an Arthur Hills designed golf course, par 72, and it can range from 3,128 yards up to 6,889 from the back tees. So it really is a really nice course with a lot of opportunity to play, because there are a lot of membership opportunities for you. So if you are looking at their primary membership, I think this is the one they push the most, and that's the annual preferred membership. That gives you unlimited access to golf activities. It gives you 21-day advanced tee time privileges, discount guest rates, member discount 15% on golf shop merchandise. And then if you do the family, you can get 6 guest passes, and then the single, you get 4 guest passes. So the family monthly dues are $330 a month on that one, and then the single monthly dues are $220. And they've got a few other plans as well. You can do the Preferred Plus, gets you unlimited carts at an additional fee. So the single on that goes up to $330 and family goes to $496. Annual 80 plus membership. So if you've lived in the community for a year and now you're over 80, you can do that and you can get 30% discount. So that's really nice. And then there's a basic membership, which has some limitations to when you can play. And then annual limited membership has some even further restrictions. So you got the basic and the limited that kind of cut off when you have unlimited access to the course. So you're really going to have a lot of opportunity to play at a fairly reasonable rate. If you're a member here, if you're a resident, it gives you a great chance to get in there and play pretty much as much golf as you want. And you get to take advantage of, the athletic center and the clubhouse. And there's even a heritage restaurant and bistro grill on premise as well, and the prices there are really good. I'll put a link in the description that'll get you there, but compared to what you end up having to pay at a lot of these places, I think you can get a decent breakfast for $12, as opposed to, if you go down the street to Amberox in Colonial Williamsburg, you're going to pay about $23 a plate for your for your brunch. So you do get a really beautiful place here. And and I'm not sure I mentioned prices earlier, so probably important to touch on that. So lately, homes have been selling anywhere between $350,000 for some of the smaller homes, up to $750,000 for a couple of the really big 4,000 plus homes. So that is the price point where you're going to be in, and so you're going to want to budget for somewhere in there, depending on what you're looking for. I think the majority of homes really are selling in this kind of 450 to 500 range, 450 to 550. That's pretty typical in here. And so budget for that plus the monthly HOA due of $290. It did just go up as of January 1st. It was $280, but given kind of where we are in this inflationary economy we're living in right now, the fact that it only went up $10 a month was really, really nice. And they seem to be in a really good position to hopefully hold on to that kind of low price point for this foreseeable future. But of course, if you have any questions on if you're watching this down the road, check in with me first. Let me, and I'll give you the updated fee if it's a couple years down the road that you're seeing this. So I think, you can see there's some beautiful kind of park-like settings as we drive through the community. There are people out and about. I filmed this on a Tuesday morning at 11 a.m., and I think there were a few people out walking their dogs, but you're not looking at, it was also pretty cold this day. So, you're looking at people getting out and about, but it's not crazy, it's the activity level you want. The biggest place where there was a lot of activity was up at the Clubhouse. So, there are some really, really nice things about being here in this community. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out and ask, and I'll be able to figure those out for you. And in terms of looking at the inside of some of these units, we're not going to do that in today's video. Hopefully we'll be doing that in future videos. But also the easiest thing you can do if you want to see inside is in the description, we'll have a link of homes that are currently for sale in the neighborhood. You can just click on that, and that'll take you to a list of homes that are currently active. And because since it is such a big community, there's always stuff for sale. So whether that's the new construction that's going up, that'll be going up for the next couple of years, or homes that are now at the point where they're up for resale. And you'll be able to take a look at those, take a look at the inside. There really are a lot of beautiful, beautiful homes in this neighborhood. And then it'll just be about figuring out what's best for you. All right, so I think that is a whole lot about the community. So what we're going to do is I think we have about another 10 minutes of driving to do. And what I want to do is just turn it over to some music, and you can continue to tour through the neighborhood. And then I'll come back at the end and we'll wrap up today's video. hope you enjoyed our tour of Colonial Heritage. I think it's an absolutely beautiful community, so I hope you did too. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave those below and I'll reply to them as soon as possible. Also in the description, I'll include some helpful links for some community information, as well as a search of homes that are currently for sale in Colonial Heritage, so you can see what's active on the market when you watch this video. And then when you're ready, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. We would love to help you with your move to Colonial Heritage or really anywhere else in the area. In the meantime, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and then share it with anyone else you know who may be looking to make a move to the area. Again, my name is David Tortellini. Thanks so much for watching.